Welcome to the GTN show, brought to you by Amp Human. Now this week, Heather and myself are going to be telling you more and updating you on our new 5K running challenge that you can get involved in yourself over the next couple of months. I'm going to be talking about backwards running, a new running phenomenon that we've seen a few pros getting involved in. And we're going to be talking to some of those pros to get a little bit more information. Now, due to the current situation, we here at GTN have decided to bring about some live workouts, again, that you can get involved in. So we're going to be telling you more about those today. And despite the lack of racing going on at the moment, there is still plenty of news for you, including the sale of Ironman. Okay guys, I've got something I want to own up and chat to you about today. I haven't spoken about it on the channel before, and that is because, well, I kind of know how this one's going to go down today. Now, about a year ago, I picked up a running injury, my first ever running injury actually. It literally hurt to put pressure down through my ankle. I tried everything I possibly could, nothing worked. And then it was one of my friends actually who suggested, and probably jokingly, how about backwards running? You know what? It actually worked, absolutely pain-free. So I started off just doing sort of 10, 20-meter strides, backwards running. Great, probably should have stopped there, but me being me, got carried away. I ended up doing 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes backwards running continuously. I was doing it a few times a week, but you know what the amazing bit of all of this was? When I actually came back to running, I was faster than I was before. I was better than I was before. It really did work. Although I did have to overcome a few injuries I sustained along the way. I tripped over a dog, ran into a tree and a pedestrian. Anyway, aside from that, pretty pleased with the results. But I've kept this to myself until now because, well, I mean, who would own up about the fact they've been going out and doing backwards running down the canal path and on top, whatever. But it now appears this may be a new running phenomenon that I'm really excited to talk to you about today, because there are a few pros out there that have also been adopting this rather unusual running method.
Everyone, my name's Imogen Simmons. Some people just call me Imo, in fact most do.
Hello, my name is Gustav Iden, but people just call me world champion. One drill I use a lot is backwards running.
My secret training tip today is running backwards. It's something that I've been using for a while.
Every week I run, I do 30 minutes of backwards running.
And one of the reasons is because you strengthen up your calves. Because have you ever seen a tiger run on his heels? No. So the one thing I do, I just start like this and then go.
My favourite one to do backwards is hill repeats, especially on the downhills, on the steep downhill jogs when you're jogging backwards. You really feel that posterior change.
Well, economy, challenging mental side of the brain, and it's good for injuries.
Right.
I've got to go, babes, honestly, I'm busy.
Okay.
I'll see you back at home. Put dinner on, please.
Okay, bye.
Well, there we go. I'm not alone. But initially, I was surprised by these results. How could backwards running help me run forwards? So I started digging around, trying to find some scientific data and some information on this. And I'm still yet to find anything on that. So I reached out to some physiologists, and also just waiting to get some calls back on that. Maybe they're just refusing to face the facts on this. So my theory at the moment is it helps to improve your running efficiency. How? I don't know. Maybe Gustav's theory and getting you up onto the balls of your feet, I can see that. That's really good. Anyway, all I'm saying, work for me. If you're interested, just start off maybe 5-10 minutes and increase it incrementally. And before you know it, you'll be running off-road like I am, really technical paths, and then going, what Okay, now back inside and on with the rest of the show, but time to get Heather involved, so let's give her a call. Hello, Heather.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Very good, thank you. Well, we have signed ourselves up, rather silly of us, I think, to the 5K challenge, which some of you out there saw over the weekend with our 5K challenge video. Let's remind everyone what we have signed up to here.
So on a week moment, we decided that we would get fit again and target our 5K PBs. So both Mark and myself went and did a sort of a hard effort to see where we're at now. And I don't know, Mark, I was quite impressed with yours. You weren't a million miles off, I don't think, whereas...
Well, likewise.
Well,
I think, given where we both are...
You've got a minute and a bit to find, have you?
Oh, a minute 40.
Okay.
So how about yourself? It was...
2 minutes 20. That's quite a lot to find. And just to make it harder.
What is your 5K PB again?
17:55, and yours?
That is good. It's official 15:17. So, yeah, this is going to be tough in 2 months.
It is 2 months. 2 months sounds
off.
a bit better than 8 weeks. 8 weeks sounds very quick, and every session really is going to count, I think. So we've got our work cut out, but it's nice to have some motivation at these times for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And to add a little bit of fun into it, we've decided to go 2 polar opposite training methods. So Heather is going for the high volume, low intensity training method, and then myself, the absolute total opposite in low volume, high intensity, and see which one gets the results. Hopefully both of us.
Yeah.
But it'll be just really interesting to see how we feel along the way and whether we're seeing those improvements.
Yeah, well, we are going to be giving you guys some updates as we go. We've got a little update from our very first session here.
Okay, just heading along the towpath this morning. Nice and early, nice and quiet. I've got a 10-minute warm up and then straight into 6 lots of 30 seconds on, really hard, 30 seconds easy, 3 minutes jog recovery, and the same thing again, and then just a 5-minute warm down. That's it done. Should get about 6.5K in. That's it. Okay, this is it. Start the session. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Set down, 6 minutes of 30 on, 30 off, 3 minutes recovery, then I go again. It's actually starting to bite a little bit, even though it is quite short, but I'm enjoying it. It's fun. The hard work's over before it really starts to hurt.
Okay, here goes session number 1, week 1 of our 8-week training program. And I'm the sucker who's got the low intensity, that all sounds good, but it's pretty high volume, and this one to start the week off, that's a nice 90-minute run. And it is including 60 minutes where I've got to concentrate, because every 15 minutes I've got to build my pace, and my target is to finish the last 15 minutes. Now, in the program I said at 10k pace. It's going to be at my probable 10k pace at the moment, so I'm hoping to hit that at around 4:15 per k for 15 minutes, but it's definitely not going to be quicker than that. Might be a little bit slower, but we're probably not going to be talking by then, so I'm going to get on with it.
All right, 2 sets done. That's 25 minutes there. Just got a 5-minute warm down. That's it, me done in half an hour. Time to get some breakfast and crack on with the day. Quite like this low volume, high intensity.
So Mark, you look like you cruised through your first one. How are you feeling about the rest of your sessions?
I've got to say I'm quite excited, because I think this is the kick up the backside that I've needed for a long time, and I must admit mine is quite short, so it's, I don't know, quite digestible, and I'm quite excited to hit some of these faster sessions. It's not too daunting at the moment. How about yours? Because obviously yours are going to be quite long.
Yeah, I've been a bit ambitious with my mileage, and I'm like week 1, and I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, I've got 8 weeks of this. Bring on the taper already. But it's going to get me fitter at least, and yeah, whether that will translate to my 5k time, we'll see.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I must admit, I've had a few people messaging me already saying they're going to follow our plans. They've downloaded it.
Nice.
So yeah, like I said before, do get involved if you're looking for a challenge at the moment, given that there isn't any racing going on.
Well, that does lead us on to this week's GTM poll, where we actually want to know which program you're following, and if you're not able to join in for any reason or you don't want to, which would be your preference? I think I probably know who's going to win this poll, but you can enter that just up here, and the options are obviously the high intensity, low volume program that Mark's doing, or the high volume, low intensity program that I'm doing.
Yeah, and now for last week's poll, where we asked, where is your head at, and what are your plans for the rest of the year, given the uncertainty around racing, and therefore why you're training? And we had, with 68%, we had still plan on racing. 18% still training, swim, bike and run, but not necessarily focusing on a race. 8% taking a break and doing some alternative exercise. And then at last we had just focusing on one discipline or area. But now actually coming back to joining in with us and following along in sessions and whatnot, we've actually got a few more opportunities for you because we're actually going to be bringing some live sessions to you. In fact, yesterday I did my first YouTube live bike workout at 6:30 British summertime in the evening as my kind of part of my evening commute. And we've got more coming up. Heather's going to be doing one on Zwift tomorrow evening and also using YouTube Live. And that's going to be at 7:30 p.m. British summertime. So obviously convert that to whatever time zone you're in. And that is going to be...
I am running. I'm sorry to interrupt, Mark. I'm not sure if you mentioned. So guys, I'm actually going to be doing the running version of this. So hopefully if you've got a treadmill, you can join in. Or if not, you can sit on the sofa and watch me and give me some support.
Yeah, so Heather is going to be doing GTN Track Thursday on Zwift every other week going forward, starting this week. But she'll also be on YouTube every week doing a run workout of some kind too. So yeah, we've got plenty to get stuck into, and hopefully this will just keep you motivated. A chance for us all to train together, and if you to train with us, we'll be able to chat as we go, which is fantastic.
Well, it depends on how hard the session is, Mark. I'm not sure how much chatting I'm going to be doing on my run workout, but we're going to try and stay engaged, and hopefully you guys are going to motivate. We can all just work together. That's the idea.
Absolutely, and there's also other opportunities for you to get involved in sessions during this week because our partners over at GTN, our mates there, they're also going to be doing workouts on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Obviously no run workouts from them, but maybe we shouldn't try and get them involved. So they're all bike workouts. But yeah, on that note, if you are really getting stuck into your training at the moment, I know I am. I've weirdly got a lot of motivation at the moment. We've got a code for Amp Human, who are partners of the channel. That is GTN 2020. It is essentially a bicarb lotion that helps to buffer lactic acid. So get involved if you're looking for that extra edge. Well, now time for the Tri news, and I'm going to start with some pretty big news here. This is over the sale of Ironman. Yeah, apparently Wanda have entered into an agreement over the sale of its Ironman brand to Advanced Publications. And this is a company that I wasn't aware of, but apparently a pretty big media company in America. So big, in fact, it's one of the largest shareholders in Discovery. Now, according to sportbusiness.com, this will be an all-cash transaction at the value of $730 million. Obviously, this is all subject to approval, but should it go forward, it's expected to close in the second quarter of 2020. Now, to give you a little bit of a backstory on the Ironman brand and its previous purchase by Wanda, it was in 2015 for the value of $650 million. But with that came some debts in the Ironman brand. Now, I'm going to gloss around some of the details and facts here, but apparently they were pretty unhappy with that and they have struggled as a consequence. Now you might be wondering, well, what's happened to the PTO? Yes, well, you may well remember back in September of last year, they entered into a bid to try and acquire the Ironman brand. That was rejected. February this year, they came back with some investment and some secured funding from Crankstar Investments. That bid was also rejected. So where does that leave them now? Well, we are still yet to hear. We haven't had a statement through from the PTO regarding this latest news from Ironman, but I'm going to suspect they are just focusing their attention on the Collins Cup, which has been postponed this year until the following year, but they are still doing a fantastic job. The recent news over them supporting and helping the pro athletes during these tough times was fantastic. So we'll just have to wait and see. We're now moving on to our next bit of news, and it's another big bit of news. It's with regards to the Olympics. I told you we had a lot in this week's show. Yeah, we have been waiting to hear as to whether the Olympics would be cancelled or whether they'd be postponed. And we found out this time last week as our show went out that they will be postponed until 2021. The new dates have come in. It's the 23rd of July through to the 8th of August 2021. The Paralympic Games will now be between the 24th of August and the 5th of September. Obviously, this is now going to have a lot of knock-on effects. There were events planned for 2021. One in particular is the World Athletics Championships. They will now be postponed until 2022. But then we've got the Commonwealth Games. There's going to be a lot of changes over the coming months and the coming year, and we will be quite excited actually to see how this is going to affect some of those athletes that were targeting the Olympics for this year, what they will now do as a result. One in particular springs to mind. I've spotted Gustav Iden actually out and about on his TT bike joking about Road to Kona, or maybe not joking. We'll just have to wait and see. Will we see a load of athletes now turning up at Kona that we wouldn't have ordinarily? Will there even be a Kona? Who knows? But this is exciting news nonetheless. But now for a few quick bits of tech, and for those that can still get out and about at the moment and maybe even lucky enough to be able to swim open water, you might be interested in this new suit from Orca. It's the Open Water SW suit. Now, not only is it highly visible for safety and includes some thermal properties that will keep you nice and toasty, it's also got a couple of nifty bits of tech, one of which is the Emerald feature. This is a universal identification system that utilizes contactless technology, so the event organizer and emergency personnel can quickly gather your athlete information should you end up in difficulty. We've also got the Rest Tube Ready connector, which will allow you to attach a rest tube buoy without having to use a waist belt or anything like that. Our next bit of tech also comes from SRAM. This is the SRAM Axis Web, and this is essentially for those real geeky people out there that just love to analyze and know more about their rides. This allows you to connect up power meters, allows you to connect up tire pressure sensors and electronic shifting. Now, essentially what you can do, and at the moment this is only rolled out over Garmin devices and soon will come for Wahoo head units, but you'll be able to collect all that data, analyze it after in relation to each other and other metrics such as the temperature, the route that you've gone on, the road conditions, and really start to pick it apart and understand the optimal bike setup for yourself. Now, finally, the last bit of tech I've got for you has come from Rota. They have just announced the release of their 1x13 triathlon group set. Now, we actually saw this up close and in person out in Kona. Now, we've discussed this group set before for the road, but this is their new TT setup. So as the name suggests, it's a 1x setup, but with 13 gears on the back. It's a hydraulic setup. So all we do, if we take a look at the front here, it's a single tap to go down, and then if you hold a little bit more, it goes back up. Now you can adjust the actual pressure on that lever here at the barrel adjuster, nice and easily, and then just to adjust that gearing and the increments, there's just this little adjustment bit here. Now, in light of the current situation, we're getting pretty used to seeing various interpretations of virtual triathlons. We've got lots of home improvisations coming through, swimming in the bath, in the shower, dragging yourself along. Whatever you're doing, fantastic, it's great, and we're really enjoying it. But understandably, there's some people out there that maybe want to take this to the next level and they want to be a little bit more serious. Now, we've got good news for you because you no longer have to wait until this social isolation and distancing, lockdown and whatnot is all over, because Sports Stats have stepped in with their own virtual triathlon that's going to take place throughout May. And they've got a lot of options for you. You've got sprint, Olympic, half, duathlon, triathlon, you name it. It's absolutely free to enter, and that is open from April the 3rd. And this is all in an attempt to bring that triathlon community together. And got good news for you here as well, because there's prizes, but not based on performance. These are picked out of the draw. And if you like to, whilst you're getting stuck into this, get involved in the community, get involved on their Facebook, on their Strava, because after all, that is what it's all about. And finally, New Balance have switched from making footwear to making face masks. Yes, amid the COVID-19 outbreak, there is obviously a high demand for medical supplies, so New Balance have stepped in. They are currently producing prototype face masks and hope to scale that production up using their factories soon.
Thanks, Mark, for that. And it's now time to move on to your photos. And my goodness, you guys have not disappointed. We have a huge selection being sent in, and I've had the wonderful task of filtering through and having a nice look inside some of your setups and your houses. And I'm nosy, so I've quite enjoyed it. But I have had to narrow it down, and I've got a selection here. So this first one comes from Mika, and it's his homemade swimming device. He's in Finland, and obviously the pools are closed pretty much everywhere now, so he's had to use his imagination. And it looks like a plank of wood precariously resting on some sort of box with some stretch cords of some sort of bands. He does say he's done 2,000 meters in 32 minutes. So if he's actually managed to record that, I'd be very impressed. But I like the imagination that's gone into that one. And on the logical side, it's still going to be engaging your lats and getting some good work. So nice stuff, Mika. Now we've got a little video that's been sent in, and I love this one. I'm actually from a farming background myself, but sadly I haven't been isolated on the farm at the moment. But Charlotte has been making use of tools on the farm. So take a look at this. Well, I love the fact that there's a goat and chickens watching on, so a really nice, unique way to get those muscles firing with the squats. Next up, we have this one from Paul, and it is his Lightspeed L1R in Sammamish, Washington, and he says he's just set up his pain cave due to the shutdown. Looks rather impressive for something that's just been set up, and a lovely amount of space as well, with weights and step up, rower, bike, treadmill. What more do you need? I love that one. Now we have Graham, and this one I think I like because it's very real, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this, and maybe some of you have pain caves like this but haven't wanted to send them in because we have some amazing ones that are very pristine, but we like to see all sorts. And this one from Graham has his Boardman CX bike, which is his workhorse. It says one bike for training and racing. We like it. Now he says, got enough space and a great view, hashtag back of the doors. I think there's a bit of sarcasm there, but we like the use of space. And I'm impressed with the amount of shoes and the amount of bike helmets that are crammed onto those shelves. And a nice GTN towel to spice things up. Good work. Next, we're going to the other end of the spectrum again with this incredible pain cave from Craig. And this is the other end of the spectrum. It's a pretty swanky looking pain cave. It's got its Quintana Roo PR6 disc on the trainer next to a treadmill and a mat for doing lots of other free weights as well. But most impressive is the double screen and a projector. So apparently it's great for Alpe du Zwift. I think it's just great for training full stop. And I like that cool backlight as well. It's definitely somewhere to go and spend lots of time. So nice one on that, Craig. Got another video here. This one comes in from Amir in Egypt, and he's having a bit of fun with his training. Take a look. Well, Amir, we like that one, and it's a nice bit of imagination just to prove that you don't have to have a kick or climb if you want to do some hills at home, although I probably would leave that one to Amir. It looks a little on the risky side. And now, I think this is our final one today. It's sent in from John. It says Canyon Speed Max, but there's a lot else going on as well. This is in California. It says he's going to be spending lots of time indoors, obviously, and it's got some canine company. It looks like the canine company has been doing a workout by the looks of this photo, having a little nap behind the treadmill, and just, yeah, lovely, lovely photo. Sorry, I shouldn't get totally distracted by the dog. There's some weights, treadmill, bench, bikes, lots of space, a mirror to check your form. It's got everything. I'm seriously envious of some of these pain caves because mine is certainly makeshift with these conditions and it's crammed in, but I'm very lucky to have a bike and a treadmill. But anyway, a wonderful selection there of all ends of the spectrum. So whatever your pain cave looks like or whatever improvised training you guys are doing, send us a photo, send us a video. We love to see them. You can do that by following the link that's on the screen now for the uploader. Now, I think it's fair to say that at the moment, we're probably spending a bit more time on social media with a little bit more time on our hands, and it seems like the pros are as well. So I've selected a few that have made me laugh, a few posts from the pros, some of them trailing, some of them just making some comments. And this first one that caught my eye was from David McNamee. And this was in reaction to Torsten Rad's predictions about Kona. Have a look at that one if you're interested to think what might happen. Who knows if it's even going to be on. But anyway, David McNamee tweeted this. If there's no Kona, can we just say, Lucy leads a swimmer, swims through the entire men's pack. Worth stroke Lionel train forms, but they end up crashing as Cam wants a selfie. That made me chuckle. And a non-German wins a race. Well, who'd have thought it? They were too busy arguing about who makes the best sausage. I like the humour there from McNamee. Thanks for sharing that one, David. Next, we've got a few home setups, and I've been inspired. The pros, some of them are doing some funny ones, some actually doing some setups that they're going to train with. And this one comes on the Super League Triathlon page, but it's Ben Canute with his home setup. He's actually got a pool and a stretch cord and a wetsuit. So I think he's doing a fairly decent session, so it's nice to see a pro actually being able to do some training in these tough times. Another one on the same lines is Daniela Reef. She said it's amazing what you can find in your basement, and she's got a rather large paddling pool. So if you have something like that in your basement, dig it out if you've got a wetsuit and you're feeling brave. And I think she was actually being quite serious with that post. So well done, Daniela, for thinking outside the box a little bit. Probably more effective than my stretch cords in the shower. But anyway, we tried. This next one comes from Joe Skipper. and he's doing a turbo session. He's got a dog, actually 2 dogs watching on. I like that. But it's more the caption here, if you have a look, seeing what Lionel Sanders is up to and then adding in 10 watts to get an even bigger gear. Well, as we know, Lionel is the king of indoor training, so I think there's gonna be a lot of pros, whether seriously or not, they're gonna be keeping an eye on what Lionel's up to, maybe taking some tips from him, who knows. But finally, this one is very impressive indeed, and it does put Mark and my aero hacks video into sort of insignificance, I think, when it comes to doing some DIY alterations to your bike. This post was on Instagram, I saw, with Mikael Eden, and there's a post to his YouTube. Now, he's the coach for Gustav Eden, and along with Gustav Eden, they've actually made some homemade carbon aero bars to go on a draft legal, on his road bike for ITU draft legal racing. And the finished product looks pretty professional, so it'll be interesting to see that out on the road when we get back to racing. All right, it's now time for the Caption Competition, for your chance to win a GTN cap. And we had this picture, you might remember from last week, of the Mululaba World Cup, of an athlete trying to undo the knot in her shoes, or that's what it looks like. And as you can imagine, we had quite a few food-related or eating-related suggestions. The first one from James Simmons, hang on, these aren't strawberry laces. Another food-related one here from Z4K1 says, have some Snickers. Now, those of you who aren't British, you might not know Snickers is actually a chocolate bar. So I like the play on that one, but don't know if it's lost on some of you. Surprisingly, quite a few along the lines of running out of food in this current corona situation that we've got. Janie Buncher says, day 129 in quarantine. Yum. Yeah, let's hope we don't get to that stage. Then Savage Poet had this rather imaginative caption, the front cover of Runner's Digest. It shows footage of a sole survivor. That's a pretty good one. But I'm going with something nice and simple this week from Lincoln Stephen, who wins Caption Competition with, I'm not running in these shoes. Well done, Lincoln. Make sure you get in touch and we will do our best to get a GTN cap to you as soon as we can. And this week we have a bit of a contortionist going on. Another picture from the Mululaba World Cup. And I think I'd be proud of this yoga pose. I don't think it's a yoga pose, but an athlete doing a warm-up. Let us know your caption suggestions in the comment section below. Well, as you can see here at GTN, we are making adaptations and learning as we go along, but it's not just us that's having to change to this situation, of course. The pros are having to make quite a few adaptations themselves, and we've actually got a video coming up later this week where we're looking at how they are actually coping with the coronavirus. We've got another video looking or asking the question of whether cushioned shoes could be making you injured. So keep an eye out for those two and lots more to come. If you've got plenty of time on your hands and you're maybe doing a little bit of online browsing, then why not check out the GTN shop? You can find that on the screen soon, and there's still some great discounts to be had there. Now, earlier I mentioned Mark and I doing some aero DIY hacks. Well, they're definitely not at the level of Norwegians, but if you want to see what we got up to and who won our little challenge, well, that video is just down here. And talking of challenges, our 5K challenge video went out last weekend. You can find that one here to see a little bit more about what we were talking at in the video earlier. And do join us for that. Choose one of those programs and follow along, and give us a like and a follow on our social media channels too.